Questions?
Mayor, can I ask a question?
Sure. Hey, how are you?
Good. Mayor, I had heard you were coming this evening, so I did a little research to see if my recollections were correct, and in fact they were. So I'd like to kind of fill in a couple of gaps that you didn't tell us this evening. You've long, and then I'm going to follow up with a question, so this is not a speech, but you've long been associated with the Right-Wing Family Institute of Connecticut, which is anti-gay rights. You're a well-known anti-abortion advocate. You endorsed John Rowland when he ran for governor. You attended fundraisers for John Rowland. When John Rowland got out of jail, you gave him a $100,000 a year job as economic development director in Waterbury. And during John Rowland's impeachment hearings, you were quoted as calling John Rowland the greatest governor that Connecticut ever had. In addition to that, 4 years ago, when Ned Lamont beat Joe Lieberman in the Democratic primary, you nonetheless continued to support Joe Lieberman over the Democratic nominee. So I guess my question to you is, why should the people sitting in this room support you and put you on the Democratic state ticket to represent us, loyal Democrats?
Good question. Good questions, I should say. Let me take them one at a time. First of all, in terms of the abortion issue, I don't think I'm long associated with the Connecticut Family Institute. When I was a legislator, myself and Representative Ann Dandro at the time, to get a room, if you're going to have any type of an event at the legislature, you need a legislator to sponsor that. The group could not, when they did their Right to Life rallies, and it would be outside, could not come into the LOB until a legislator sponsored a room. And I said, Ann Dandro and I both sponsored a room so that they didn't have to stay out in January in the cold so that they could come in. The one area in terms of abortion that I did champion and I will stand behind today was I still believe then, and I believe now, that partial birth abortion should not be a procedure available. It's tantamount to almost delivering the baby with the head outside the womb and then sucking the brain matter out to kill the baby. So I did say that we should not be supporting that. I did not ever sponsor any legislation to eliminate Roe versus Wade, as obviously I think we all have our religious beliefs. I'm a Roman Catholic. But I also am a lawyer. I'm a very highly trained lawyer. And I know what the rights are, and I know what the law says. And will obviously, as a state controller, I won't really have a lot of say on policy decisions. I'm there to manage the financial aspects of state government. In terms of gay rights, again, I believe live and let live. But I did believe marriage, at least the definition marriage, should be limited to the union of one man and one woman. I have no problem with civil unions. I supported that. I supported the rights of folks to adopt, same-sex couples to adopt. But I thought when it came to marriage, at least that definition should be reserved to the union of one man and one woman. In terms of the former governor, John Rowland, obviously breached the public trust, paid a very, very dear price for that. When he owned up to it, there was no trial. He admitted his wrong. And it was the Chamber of Commerce, actually, that asked if it would be okay for them to hire the governor as an economic development coordinator. There is a public-private partnership between the city and the chamber. We are struggling in Waterbury, as most big municipalities. We have the highest unemployment rate. We've had it for the last 8 years in a row. We were decimated by the lack of the manufacturing base that was chased out of this state and has gone south and has gone overseas. And any opportunity I could see in working with the business community to reverse the fortunes of a distressed municipality, they felt it was important. I had no objections to it. And the former governor obviously has no contact with state government. Joe Lieberman, Joe and I have been longtime friends. He gave me my first job out of law school. When he did lose the primary to Ned, I felt a personal sense of duty to the senator and supported him. He's disappointed me in some aspects, especially when he was on the stage with Senator McCain against President Obama. But at the same token, I support, I'm not going to fool you, I'm a centrist Democrat. Some people call us O'Neill Democrats, moderate Democrats. I'm a centrist Democrat. And I think the reason we should support centrist Democrats is, in the primary, if we all just support everybody who's progressive or maybe ultra-progressive, what are we going to do in November? How are you going to convince the unaffiliated voters that the Democratic Party can listen to both sides and be open to that? And I'm the only candidate running from the Valley, the 5th District. While that's not the whole state, I think it's important for turnout in November, because this is not a layup for Democrats in November, to have somebody who can bring that vote out and who could appeal more to the centrist Democrats. So there was a lot of, obviously, questions, and I hope I've answered them to your satisfaction.
Did you call John Rowland the greatest governor in the history of Connecticut?
I don't think I used that term. I thought he was a very, I liked Governor Rowland during his tenure. I was in the legislature. The things I liked what he did, and I still like today. I look right over up the street. Renshaw Field would never be there without Governor Rowland and Speaker Ritter. He really committed the state to improving the conditions of higher education, especially the physical facilities at our flagship university, and our state universities. And he was also very committed to Hartford, Bridgeport, New Haven, and the big, very, very distressed municipalities. I don't consider Waterbury to be the most distressed, but those other ones, which are, obviously in serious conditions in terms of the crime rate. And so those are some of the things I did support the governor on as a legislator. And so I thought he was a good governor. Of course, I don't condone any criminality. I've now served in either appointed or elected office for 25 years. There's never been a whisper of impropriety with Mike Jarjura. I conduct myself at the highest standards of ethics and professionalism. And so, the governor and others, Democrats too, have betrayed the public trust, and they should be held up to the punishment for that. As for me, I conduct myself to the standards I would think everybody would want a public official, which is much higher than any other basic citizen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much.